A very heated meeting last night after months of audits, reviews. A decision over JCPS's transportation plan has been made. Not everyone happy about it. Here's some of the emotional comments and also what board members voted on. Louisville leaders asking for how those sworn to serve and protect the community will keep themselves in check. The latest on the consent decree negotiations. Oh, it's official now. There is Coach Cal last night in Arkansas. We'll have some details about who the Cats could be adding to their staff.
Now, Wade News Sunrise.
Good morning to you. What April showers bring May flowers? We should have a lot of flowers then, right?
And a lot of pollen, too, as we get towards the weekend. That's the thing. We're going to see those pollen counts going up for the weekend. But at least for right now, the rain is helping out with that. So that's some good news as you're getting out there this morning. So let's look at the radar and see what we have going on. What we're looking at, some of that moderate to heavy rain pushing through the area. Take it slow as you're getting out there this morning. Here's where we're seeing some of the heaviest rain right now from near Madison over into Carrollton and straight on south towards LaGrange and Campbellsburg. Where you see the yellow, that's the heavier rain coming down. Most of the metro A-OK, except for the western part of the city. This is where we're starting to see a little bit more of that moderate rain showing up from Palmyra down towards Dogwood. Some more of these downpours in your area, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. And then for those of you further to the southwest, from Millerstown to Brandenburg and over into the Hardinsburg area, the rain is just pouring in your area. You're seeing much of the same towards E-Town. As we head over the next 12 hours, what we're going to look at, some more rain moving through for this morning, but it still looks like as we get towards lunch, we get a little bit of a break from that rain showing up before we have to deal with additional showers and thunderstorms for this afternoon. And for the winds today, relatively light for most of the morning and into the afternoon. But once we get into the late afternoon and evening, this is where we can see some of these gusts between 30 and 40 miles per hour. So the wind really ramping up for the second half of the day. For some of these afternoon storms, especially for those of you east of 65, underneath that slight risk of severe weather, damaging winds will be your main threat as we watch for some of those storms, especially between 2 and 6 p.m. this afternoon. So a lot to watch for today. But of course, for this morning, Olivia, everyone just has to take it slow as we deal with the rain.
Yeah, I can't emphasize that enough this morning. But hey, I want to take you to 65 North near Arthur Street, where it looks like our storm tracker seeing a crash there. LMPD working a crash. They have the right 2 lanes blocked there on 65 North near Arthur Street, causing pretty significant slowdowns there, especially as he zooms out. So we'll keep an eye on that this morning. But taking a look around the rest of the metro, everything else seems to be moving just fine. Doesn't look like they've updated that map there showing that crash, but keep an eye on that. Everything else moving just fine this morning. Shannon.
Thanks, Olivia. We now know how Jefferson County Public Schools plans to change the transportation plan. Last night, the school board voted 4-3 to end busing at magnet and traditional schools, except for Western and Central high schools. Things got really heated, though. When people started commenting at this meeting, they were not supposed to even have public comments.
Are you going to take control of your meeting?
I'm in control. We'll call this meeting.
This is not a plantation, and we are not slaves.
All right. Speak on it. That's right. Because it ain't fair. It ain't fair to these kids.
Whether it was come back to school after COVID, you know, whether it was student assignment, whether it was this was by far the hardest of my 7 years.
People there shouting at board members arguing with each other. Tempers rose and stayed high for nearly the entire 2-hour meeting. Hold the vote. That was a message many in the crowd tried to get across to board members, but the board went ahead and voted last night during that special meeting. This after an audit into previous plans' failures was released last month, and the board was forced to delay their vote then, but some said they were already way behind schedule and couldn't afford to delay the vote anymore. Then last night, discussion centered around whether the plans would actually work and if they were rushing it.
Anybody who thinks this vote has been rushed simply has not been paying attention.
I do not want the kids at any of our schools to suffer, but we are making them suffer today.
It's just not a sustainable option for us to continue to do this. That's the bottom line. And I hated making this and any part of this decision.
After nearly 2 hours, board member Chris Cole proposed a motion to accept option 2. That gets rid of transportation for all magnet and traditional schools, except for Western and Central high schools. Now moving forward, the district will come back December 1st to report on how things are going, and they also need to go what they say is above and beyond, making sure the community is heard in the process. And now the NAACP is calling for Superintendent Marty Pollio's resignation. The organization says the plan to cut magnet and traditional student school bus routes would more negatively impact minority students in the district. The group says Pollio has ignored their concerns, and they want more data to see the reasoning behind the decision made, and the gradual changes should be made instead. A somber day yesterday, the city and state taking time to honor the 5 people killed in that Old National Bank mass shooting. James Tutt, Juliana Farmer, Joshua Barrick, Tommy Elliott, and Dina Eckert, all shot and killed the Monday after Easter by one of their co-workers. Their loved ones still feeling the pain. Community leaders honored the victims and highlighted 2 first responders who rushed to the scene of the bank that morning. Governor Beshear and Mayor Greenberg spoke to a crowd at Metro Hall about how 911 operators, police, EMS, and doctors saved lives that day, along with the 5 people who were killed.
And I also feel the intense gratitude about the actions that day. You know, on one of the toughest days of my life, I also had some of the most incredible moments. I got to see 2 friends in the emergency room that had made it through. And let me tell you, that is an incredible feeling, even in the midst of tragedy.
For the survivors and those who lost a loved one, yesterday was like reliving a nightmare, they said. Juliana Farmer's daughters described the pain. She told the Wave troubleshooters how she spoke with her mom the morning of the shooting, and Juliana was so excited about her new job at Old National Bank. She was 45 years old, a mother, grandmother to some boys, and her son had just given her a scratch-off ticket, telling her she was about to have a granddaughter. That was recorded in a video they shared with us on Easter, the day before her life was taken. Farmer's daughter says she's trying to stay strong for her mother.
I talked to my mom that morning. She was so happy. Like, I think that's probably like one of the happiest moments I've seen my mom, because she was just so excited about this job and this opportunity. My mom made it. She made it. There's times I want to break. There's times I want to give up. But I know deep down in my heart, she wouldn't want that for me. She wouldn't want that for my children, my brothers. I know God's got us.
Well, that little girl, Juliana, was so excited about when she got that scratch-off ticket, is now named after her. We are learning more about how LMPD will be monitored when it enters a consent decree with the U.S. Department of Justice. The Metro Public Safety Committee questioned LMPD leaders about how it will be enforced. Right now, the city, the department, and the Department of Justice are still negotiating the conditions of the contract. LMPD says there will be an independent monitor and people like the police chief holding officers accountable when the contract's broken.
So we have an accountability system right now, and it'll make some changes to that accountability system, how we investigate things, how we have findings on those investigations. When they are making the determination that we are not adhering to that policy and we're not adhering to that practice of investigating things appropriately internally, and that our findings are not consistent with what the evidence shows, then we are in violation of the consent decree, and the court can enforce it at that point.
The consent decree is supposed to fix problems that DOJ found in a report last year. Its investigation into LMPD found the department discriminated against black people, used excessive force, and conducted searches based on invalid search warrants. LMPD says it has already created new procedures to address some of those issues. A Southern Indiana judge now ordering a mental evaluation for the mother accused of killing her 5-year-old son and stuffing his body body in a suitcase. The motion says the court needs an analysis of J. Johns Anderson's state of mind when her son was killed to determine if she is competent to stand trial. Prosecutors say she killed her son, Cairo Jordan, in April of 2022. His body found in an abandoned suitcase in the woods in rural Washington County. Anderson also wrote on social media about having to exercise a powerful demonic force from within her son before the killing. The Kentucky Wildcats' search for a new head coach continues as coach John Calipari is now in Arkansas, getting a new start there. And it was a packed house at Bud Walton Arena in Arkansas for his introduction last night. A lot of former players were there to greet him. Calipari says he's excited for this new beginning, and he knows there's work to do.
Kentucky's the bluest of blue. There's only a few schools like that, and I hate to tell you, Arkansas is one of them. It is. I thought about coming here and building this program and making it something special. It got me excited.
Weird seeing him not wearing blue, though, right, in that one shot. Now, as far as the coaching search at Kentucky, the latest update is no big update. Many trusted insiders, though, are saying Baylor's Scott Drew appears to be the lead candidate, but no official word on that from UK. Meanwhile, UofL basketball making some big announcements. New head coach Pat Kelsey has now named who will be joining him on his coaching staff. Here are the names of the men you'll see on the Cardinal bench: Thomas Carr, Ronnie Hamilton, Brian Cloman, and strength coach Eli Foy. Carr, Foy, and Cloman all coming with Kelsey from College of Charleston, and Hamilton is joining Louisville from LSU. It is now 6:11. Tawana?
Over the next 12 hours, what we're going to be looking at, some showers and thunderstorms across the region for today, with a better chance for some stronger thunderstorms as we head into the afternoon. Highs today in the 60s. So for your what to wear forecast, mainly anything waterproof. That would be the thing to help you out for today. I'll talk more about the rain that we're seeing now, the potential for some strong storms this afternoon, and the wonderful weekend ahead after the break.
Thanks, Tawana. And the Kentucky Blood Center and Donate Life Kentucky teaming up for a special blood drive today. If you would like to make a difference, we'll have details on that coming up.
This newscast is sponsored by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Now, Wave News.
Well, if you have guests coming in for Derby or you just want to get excited yourself, head to the Kentucky Derby Museum because they're reopening one of the most interactive exhibits right now tomorrow. It's the Riders Up exhibit, and Josh Ninke is there live this morning showing it to us, some of the improvements they've made.
Shannon, this is very cool. So if you come here today, you'll still see some of these walls up and the exhibit under construction sign. But I've got Bobby joining us here to give us a bit of a behind-the-scenes peek.
Yes, this is truly a sneak peek. You're going to come through these doors.
All right, let's see. Yeah, this is so cool.
And you enter this space, you know, how amazing is this? 5 horses. You can race against your friends, your family.
It's more horses than you had last time.
Yes, we only had 3, so upgrade for sure. $1 million upgrade, and you can really see the point of view of the jockey on Derby Day. You can race in different eras, different weather.
Yeah.
I actually just raced back in the 1800s.
That's
so
cool. How'd you do?
I did good. I came in first place, so I won the Derby.
Congratulations.
Thank
Quite
you.
the prize.
Thank you.
And for folks coming out to check this out, obviously you've got folks coming who are just your regular visitors, but this is going to be a big hit with school groups.
Yes, we have so many education groups that come through. We're a nonprofit organization, so we do a lot of outreach, and so people also come here as well. They love Riders Up, and so the kids are going to go crazy about this, but adults love it too, don't get me wrong. It's really a fan favorite.
And you obviously work here, but you're saying this is maybe your new favorite thing here.
Honestly, I hate to choose sides, but this is probably my favorite exhibit at this point.
And for folks who want to come and check this out, anything special they need to know?
Yeah, you know, just come out and have a good time. We have different modes you can do it on, so you can take off the motion if you are prone to getting motion sick or just don't want it. that's completely fine. We have it all for you. We have wheelchair accessibility, so anyone and everyone can enjoy this.
And this, the walls to bring this all here come down tomorrow, right?
Yes, the walls come down. We don't want to tease anyone today. So the walls will come down tomorrow ahead of our grand opening at 10 a.m.
Fantastic. So it should be a lot of fun. And guys, I know I've done a lot of teasing you with how cool this looks and everything, but in the next half hour, I'll actually get to race this thing and show you how this really works. So definitely don't want you to miss that. Live here at the Kentucky Derby Museum, Josh Stinky, Wave News.
Very fun. All right, Josh, thanks so much. Yes, when I would go with my kids, they love it. Okay, it's raining out, and I was telling Tawana that I got all drenched yesterday, and she said, well, you need this thing I have.
Yeah, this is my favorite thing. It just protects my hair, and I am A-okay, and you know, the hair has to be protected, especially after we deal with everything that we have going on right now. So I'm going to push it up a little bit so you can see my face, but overall here in the Wave Weather Garden, it is just warm and wet to start the day. And what we're seeing on the radar right now, some more of those showers, seeing some heavier downpours from near Bedford and into Salem and over towards Madison, Palmyra. You're going to get a pretty heavy downpour moving your way. Much of the same happening into the Corydon area. For those of you from Newcastle to Frankfort, moderate to heavy rain. In your area, same thing into Brandenburg and Hardinsburg. So that rain is just pouring in so many locations. From Easttown up towards Mount Washington, much of the same. And some more of these scattered downpours showing up from Lebanon all the way south into Columbia with some heavier rain moving through the Greensburg area right now. So what we're going to be looking at temperature-wise to start the day in the 50s and low 60s. So it's pretty mild as you're heading out this morning, plus the humidity that we have across the area makes it not feel so bad as you're heading out this morning. Let's look at what we're looking at for wind gusts. Right now the wind pretty light, less than 10 miles per hour. But as we head into the late afternoon and evening, notice how much the wind starts to pick up with some gusts near 30 to 40 miles per hour possible as we're watching the rain moving out. So as you start to dry out, just remember later on today, that is when we're going to see the wind really picking up. Damaging winds will be the main threat with severe storms that we could see later on this afternoon, especially between the 2 and 6 p.m. time frame. Most of us underneath a marginal risk of severe weather, so that's the level 1 out of 5. But for those of you basically from Carroll County into the eastern portions of Jefferson County, south into Marion County, and everybody east of that in that yellow, underneath a slight risk with that damaging wind threat that we'll have to continue to watch. Our futurecast shows this. We'll see more rounds of the moderate to heavy rain for this morning. Then we'll get into the late morning towards lunchtime, a little bit of a break before we see some more of those storms rolling through for the afternoon hours. And it's this batch of afternoon storms, especially if we have enough of a break and the atmosphere is able to destabilize a little bit more, that is when we can see some of those stronger storms coming our way. Now, if we keep the rain around throughout the entire morning and things remain drizzly and cooler, then that severe threat won't be as high for later on this afternoon. Getting further through the afternoon, though, the heaviest rainfall moving out by 6 p.m. and getting through the evening hours, still some spotty showers lingering here and there as you see temperatures quickly falling. So we'll go from those 60s around lunchtime into the 50s as the late afternoon goes along, and then we'll keep on dropping overnight, ending up in the 40s for your lows. Now for tomorrow, we start off in those 40s, a couple of spotty showers here and there early. Once we get towards lunch tomorrow, that is when we can see another wave of showers pushing through our area. So keep an eye on that. Some pockets of light and moderate rain here and there, and then we'll dry out for the afternoon as we keep our highs in the 50s. Now, as you continue to head into your Friday night, the clouds will clear and everything will be gorgeous once we get into the upcoming weekend. So let's talk about rainfall totals. We've already seen around 1 inch to 2 inches of rain depending on where you are here in Wave Country. We could add on an additional inch as the day goes along for some areas, so I will put some of our totals near 3 inches. For tomorrow, we're going to be talking about wind gusts near 30 to 40 miles per hour throughout the day. That wind coming out of the west, so it's going to be a windy and cooler day on your Friday. Here is your 10-day sunshine and 70s on Saturday, near 80 with some sun around on Sunday, and then we'll keep warmer temperatures around for the first half of next week. By next Thursday and potentially into next Friday, we could see some more of these showers around, but keep in mind the models are not agreeing on anything happening after next Wednesday, so don't be surprised if you see that forecast changing. So that's something to keep in mind as you're preparing for the next 10 days. Just for today, make sure you have that Wave Weather app ready to go, whatever rain gear you need to make sure that everything, including your hair, stays pretty. Shannon.
Here's a look at the current Kentucky Lottery jackpots. The Kentucky Lottery, over $5 billion in grants and scholarships.
Trending this morning, an incredible rescue after 3 fishermen were stuck on an island in the Indo-Pacific. Olivia has their story right now in this Wave News Alert.
Yeah, Shana, this is something you see out of a movie with the classic help written in the sand. So take a look here. The 3 fishermen were stranded on a tiny island in the Pacific for more than a week. They spelled out help using palm fronds laid out on the white sand beach, and it worked. A U.S. Navy jet spotted the sign, and they were then rescued by the U.S. Coast Guard. The trio had been fishing nearby, but got caught in the waves and then lost all power, even their radios. The Coast Guard said they lived off coconut meat and fresh water from a small well on the island, but definitely incredible and great creativity, I guess. They're using those to spell that out. I'm glad it worked for them.
So smart. And coconut meat. Wow. Thank you.
Right.
Here is Tawana right now. So, yes, we've had a few days of rain. Love to see the sun again. When is that happening?
This weekend, and the weekend overall looking really good for those of you who have plans. So for today, yes, we're going to keep the showers and thunderstorms in the forecast across the area. We could see some stronger storms for those of you further to the east this afternoon, but that's not a guarantee. If we can keep the rain around, keep it drizzly and cooler through the morning hours, that actually helps to lower our severe threat for later on today. Tomorrow, a couple of spotty showers here and there, especially towards midday, windy with some gusts near 40 miles per hour possible, cooler with highs in the 50s for most of us. Saturday, sunshine in 70s. It is going to be amazing. Feel free to frolic as much as you want. Once we head into Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week, seeing some 80s potentially across parts of the region. Now, what we're looking at closely is the end of next week towards thunder over Louisville, because the models are not quite agreeing on some rain chances. There do look to be a couple of systems around for the end of next week, so we'll watch those rain chances closely towards next Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Thanks, Tawana. To celebrate Donate Life Month, Kentucky Blood Center and Donate Life Kentucky are teaming up for a blood drive happening today. If you'd like to donate, you can stop by the Donate Life Kentucky campus on Lynn Station Road, and they'll be there taking donations from 10 a.m. until 2 this afternoon. This week, several local restaurants are donating a portion of their proceeds to families for effective autism treatment. It's also known as Feet Louisville, and one of those restaurants, Mish Mish, located in the New Lou area. If you haven't been there yet, you have to go. It is so yummy. 10% of dinner sales they bring in during dinner will be donated to Feet. The restaurant owner and chef, Noam Bilitzer, says this is personal to him. He has an older sister with autism. To find all the participating restaurants, you can just check out feetoflouisville.org. It's 6:27, and board members and parents shouting during a very heated meeting last night regarding JCPS transportation. We'll break down how the vote went coming up next.
Now, Wave News Sunrise.
Good Thursday morning to you. A live look right here, 65. Yep, there's a crash right there. We're going to get an update on that from Olivia in just a moment. But yes, we are waking up once again to another day of rain, and this time it's even going to be more rainy today than it was yesterday.
Yeah, we're looking at more rounds of showers this morning, then again this afternoon, because we have that low that's going to be moving through. So you're just going to need the rain gear for today. And anyone, especially east of 65, needs to be weather aware, because we could see a couple of stronger thunderstorms later on this afternoon. No widespread severe weather expected for today. Just want to make sure I clarify that. But this is another view of that crash on at 65 where the storm tracker is. Olivia will have a little bit more information on that in just a second. What we're dealing with across the area right now, more of that rain taking over, with the heaviest rainfall showing up from Corden to Brandenburg and over towards Corners. Also seeing some more of that heavy rain showing up in Hardin County and south towards Mumfordville. For those of you near Seymour, Scottsburg, and Charlestown, you're seeing some pretty decent downpours in your area too. Much of the metro now locked in with this rain, and we're seeing those showers stretching all the way further to the south into Greene, Taylor, Adair County. Even seeing a couple of lightning strikes now showing up in portions of Taylor County. So here's what we're expecting over the next 12 hours. More rounds of showers, a couple of thunderstorms mixing in for the morning. A better chance for some thunderstorms once we get into this afternoon, and we'll have to keep an eye on the strength of some of those storms, especially for those of you further to the east. I'll show you the severe weather outlook in just a second. Watching for some strong wind gusts later on this evening into the overnight. We could see some wind gusts later on today between 30 and 40 miles per hour. Some colder air tries to move in. But here is our severe risk for today. For those of you east of the metro, from Carrollton south to Lebanon, you're underneath a slight risk of severe weather damaging winds will be our main threat. But even if you're underneath that marginal risk for today, you still need to be weather aware, as the flooding threat is a threat for everyone as the day continues.
And Tawana, taking a closer look at that crash this morning. This is on 65 North near Woodbine, so you might be able to see it. It looks like just one vehicle involved there, but police have both of these lanes blocked off here. So getting another look at it where you can see that one car, and then traffic just backed up. So if you're heading up 65 North to or through downtown Louisville, probably your best bet will be to get off at Eastern Parkway. Try to work your way through downtown that way, but creating quite a backup now. Traffic is moving in the area, but like I said, it's pretty significant backup there on 65. Everything else looking all clear throughout the metro. Shannon?
Thanks, Olivia. Oh, boy, it was a heated meeting last night as the JCPS board votes 4-3 to end busing at magnet and traditional schools, except for Western and Central high schools. But people were there shouting at board members arguing with each other. Tempers rose and stayed high for nearly the entire 2-hour meeting. Both sides going back and forth over if the plans would work or if things were being rushed. Board member Chris Kolb, though, said that they should take a vote and accept the option that would get rid of transportation for all magnet and traditional schools except for Western and Central high schools.
All in favor indicate by raising your hand. Okay, Mr. Craig, Dr. Kolb, Ms. McIntosh, Ms. Duncan, all opposed? Elevate by raising your right hand. Thank you. The ayes have it.
The motion also makes it so the district has to come back December 1st reporting on how things are going. Wednesday marked 1 year of that mass shooting at Old National Bank. 5 people shot and killed by one of their co-workers. The community remembered them: James Tutt, Juliana Farmer, Joshua Barrick, Tommy Elliott, and Dina Eckert. Their loved ones still feeling the pain. Officer Nick Wilt has been making remarkable progress, though, since he was shot in the head responding to that shooting. For days, no one knew if the rookie officer would survive. He flatlined several times in between operations and tests, but he regained his strength, was moved from the hospital to rehab, and then 3.5 months later, allowed to go home, where he still is, and they're trying to adjust to a new normal.
As I keep telling them, we're going to the beach as soon as we can. I don't care what beach, we're going to find one. I don't care if we have to fly to Hawaii. We're taking to the beach. And that's what I keep telling them. You know, I just want you to be happy. So we're going to get him there.
Wilt's family says the journey towards full recovery is ongoing, but that every day he gets a little better. There are so many stories from survivors, victims, loved ones, and first responders, and we sit down with many of them in our special documentary, 23 Seconds, A Louisville Mass Shooting. You can stream it on wave3.com and also on the Wave News app. Louisville arson investigators are looking for a man after the Boost mobile store in Preston Highway was set on fire. They are not calling this person a suspect, but think he could have information about the fire that happened Sunday afternoon around 1:30. The man was last seen walking in the area shortly after the incident, wearing a hat and an orange backpack. If you recognize him, call the Metro Arson Bureau or the anonymous tip line, 574 LMPD. A convicted drug dealer who was on the run for months after not showing up for court is getting more time in prison. Jamarcus Glover will now serve 8 years for violating his probation in a 2020 drug trafficking conviction. A judge originally gave him a 7-year sentence for violating probation. Glover will be back in court next week for a separate case. He was arrested by St. Matthews police in September, charged with a new case of trafficking after a 13-year-old girl died from a drug overdose. Here's Tawana right now on this Thursday.
And we'll be keeping an eye to the skies as we deal with more rounds of rain for this morning, into the afternoon, into the evening. Now, keep in mind for today, once we finally see that rain moving out, we are going to get a stretch of drier weather coming into the forecast. Let you know how long that looks to last after the break.
Good morning. Ever wonder what it's like to be a jockey? Well, now you can. Just head over to the Kentucky Derby Museum because they just did $1 million upgrade to that Riders Up exhibit. Josh Ninke jumping on a horse there this morning. Okay, let's see how you do.
All right, Shannon, we got Phil joining us here to tell us a little bit more about how this exactly works, because this is a big thing with innovation, right?
Yes. So the beauty of this technology, we are working with the latest innovation. So these horses are hyper-realistic, but they're actually built on motion platform technology.
And you were telling me that the idea is once you get these going, you can take this kind of out and about with some new tech that's out now, right?
Yeah, of course. So the Apple Vision Pro has been released in the US in February. So we're considering how we can take this innovation through to an immersive experience through VR.
Yeah.
So yes, it's going to be an exciting journey.
Yeah.
Yes.
And tell me a bit more about how you guys got involved with the Kentucky Derby Museum, because it's quite a kind of fun story.
Yeah, good story. Obviously, we're UK based. We actually built a horse racing game in Europe, and Kentucky Derby team had seen it, so they reached out and they were like, "Could you build? We're considering the exhibit, you know." And yeah, and that was 9 months ago, and it's been an exciting journey ever since.
What's it been like being part of some kind of cutting-edge technology right here?
Yeah, you know, it's absolutely fantastic to be working with Kentucky Derby in terms of, you know, its heritage and history. So to be working, taking our insight and experience and technology, working on such a historic event, you know, it's great.
Yeah. Have you ever been to the Derby before?
Not yet. I will be coming next month, so yes.
Yeah. How does it feel to be, you know, you've seen the Derby over and over and over again.
Yeah.
What do you think about coming here for the actual event?
I had the tour yesterday, so I am a historian. You know, it's been it's been a fantastic few weeks coming over, getting this ready for the team, and hopefully the public will enjoy it themselves as well from tomorrow.
I think they very much will. And guys, sorry for the a bit of a letdown. We're going to have to let you watch it in our midday show to see how these horses, we had to reboot the system just a little bit to get these horses going. So you'll have to just wait a little to see how well or poorly I do. Live here at the Kentucky Derby Museum, Josh Ninke, Wave News.
Terrific, Josh. Thank you. And that's exciting. He gets to come to the Derby. All right. The hard work of a Southern Indiana cat might make you smile this morning, but it really shows an important message, too, for pet owners. This is Ty, surrendered by his owners to the shelter in Evansville, Indiana, and yes, he is swimming. He took his first swim lesson about 7 weeks ago. He weighed 30 pounds then, almost 3 times. Yikes, the size of an adult cat. So this aquatic center usually just takes dogs, but thanks to donations, Ty got in the water too. Trainers there say Ty's a natural.
I think he actually likes it. He protests a little when we first go down the ramp. And then he's just all business.
Oh, he's so cute. Animal experts say it's a good reminder. Make sure you don't overfeed your pet because it can really hurt their health. But Ty's lost about 5 pounds with the swimming. Great job. So that's about 15% of his body weight. And if you're thinking, oh, I'd love to adopt Ty. Oh, there have been lots of requests already. So cute. So apparently cats can swim. Some of them don't love it, but Ty seems to be doing a pretty good job.
Yeah, the meow on the way down made me giggle a little bit, but it looks like Ty's doing really well.
But maybe the meow was Ty was excited. Oh.
That's true. Yeah, just getting ready to go. Be like, just move faster.
I know.
Maybe that's what it was.
You know what? It's hard to let the dog out with the rain.
And we'll feel like we're swimming as we head throughout the day today. I'll talk about that in just 30 seconds. Good morning, meteorologist Juana Andrew here with a check of your forecast. And for today, what we're seeing, more rain on the way. This is a radar estimation of how much rain we've already seen so far over the past 2 days of the rounds of showers and thunderstorms that we've been dealing with. For a lot of us, it's been closer to ½ an inch of rain. But notice where we see those pockets of yellow from near Hardinsburg all the way into southern Bullitt County. This is where we've seen totals already near 2 inches. And the rain is still coming down down. What we're dealing with in southern Indiana, a little bit drier towards Jasper and Paoli right now, but a stretch of showers from Seymour south towards Scottsburg with some heavier rainfall now showing up in portions of Harrison County, Corden, Dogwood. You're dealing with those heavier downpours right now. Some of those as well stretching into portions of Floyd County and the metro from near Shively into the Jefferson Memorial Forest. That is where that rain continues to pour. For those of you further to the east, light to moderate rain from Oldham County into portions of Franklin County and Spencer County too. Much heavier rain from Brandenburg south into Grayson County. For those of you further to the southeast, E-Town. Heavier rain in your area, much of the same near Hodgenville. And as we look further to the south, some more of these showers and thunderstorms in portions of Greene, Taylor, and Adair counties. Remember, this is all a part of this massive system traversing the country. We'll have to wait for this area of low pressure to push through for today. And then once we head into the overnight, the cold front itself will finally start to move through. But with the rain coming down, we're seeing some issues on the roads, including this crash. This is on 65 northbound, right as you're getting past Arthur Street. Thankfully, it does look like Suburban Towing is on the scene to help clear that out. Your temperatures are in the upper 50s and low 60s. To start off the day. The wind light, less than 10 miles per hour, and the wind will be relatively light throughout the majority of your Thursday. But then we head into the late afternoon and evening. This is when the wind starts to pick up a little bit more as we start to dry out with some of those gusts near 30 to 40 miles per hour. Damaging winds will be the main threat with any severe thunderstorms that we see later on this afternoon. Notice most of our region from Madison through the metro down into Hardinsburg and over towards Columbia underneath a marginal risk of severe weather, level 1 out of 5. But for those of you from Carroll County south through Shelby County and into Marion County, you are underneath a slight risk of severe weather. So we'll have to keep an eye on your threat as the day goes along. But the Futurecast shows some more rounds of these heavier downpours for the morning commute. We get a little bit of a break towards lunch for some of us before additional rounds of thunderstorms are expected through the afternoon hours. And this is when we can see some of the stronger storms, especially between 2 and 6 p.m. for those of you further to the east of 65. So we'll watch for that closely. Getting past 6 p.m., the severe threat drops off. Some showers will linger through the evening. We'll watch temperatures going from the 60s around midday down into the 50s this evening, and then we'll keep falling into the 40s for the overnight hours. Then we head into tomorrow, watching for some more isolated showers across the region, especially in the early morning hours before the sun comes up. And then as we head into midday, we can see another batch of some showers waving through. Overall, though, tomorrow a lot cooler with highs only in the upper 50s and the low 60s. So by the time we finally are done with all of this rain, we could add on another around inch of rain. Remember, some of you have already seen closer to 2 inches so far, so that'll put our totals for a lot of us near 3 inches for the week. In addition to all of that, tomorrow will be windy and cooler with some of these gusts between 30 and 40 miles per hour. Let's look at the rest of the 10-day. For your Saturday, sunshine and 70s. Beautiful for everything going on. On Sunday, we'll have some clouds overhead, and we'll keep the warmer weather with highs in the 80s from Sunday at least through Wednesday. Before Thursday of next week, we can see additional rounds of showers and thunderstorms. And, of course, the following Saturday, thunder over Louisville, Shannon. So we'll be watching that forecast closely.
Oh, yeah. All right. Thanks. Former Clark County Sheriff Jamie Knoll will have to wait longer before he goes on trial. The judge set Knoll's new trial date for November 6th. It was originally scheduled for May 6th. Right now, Knoll's in jail. He was held in contempt of court. The judge giving him a 60-day sentence after it was discovered he did not turn over 2 handguns to state police. That violated his bond. Knoll faces 25 felony charges, including charges for theft, tax evasion, ghost employment, and official misconduct. Now here's Olivia taking a look at the big stories we're following from around the country and the world today.
Trial continues today for a triple murder case of Chad Daybell in Idaho. Daybell is accused in the deaths of his first wife and his 2 stepchildren. In yesterday's opening statements, the prosecution said the murders revolved around sex, money, and power, but the defense said the jury should focus on facts instead of speculation. The trial comes nearly a year after his wife, Lori Vallow Daybell, was convicted of murdering her children. Instagram is taking steps to crack down on teenage sextortion. It's an alarming trend where scammers scammers convince teenagers to send them nude photos and then tell the teens they'll post the images online unless the victims send money or gift cards. The company announced Thursday it's testing the new features to curb the crime, including blurring nude images sent in direct messages and letting users know they've interacted with somebody who's engaged in financial sextortion. Former interpreter for Los Angeles Dodgers superstar Shohei Ohtani is in negotiations to plead guilty to federal crimes related to accusations he stole millions from Ohtani and used it all for gambling. Ippei Mizunara was fired last month when the accusations came out. It said that Ohtani was not involved in betting for any games. And heads up for golf fans out there, the Masters is on a rain delay this morning, so play won't begin until at least 9 a.m. Those are some of your top headlines. Shannon will have more local news coming up in your Wake Up Watch List.
Good morning, 6:53. Here are your top headlines in today's Wake Up Watch List. Jefferson County Public Schools has decided how they will change a transportation plan, but oh boy, things got heated. People started commenting at this meeting that was not even supposed to have public comments. The school board voted 4-3 to end busing at magnet and traditional schools except for Western and Central high schools. The Kentucky Transportation Cabinet says it's having trouble warning drivers who need to renew their license plate tags this month. Transportation leaders say renewal notices usually sent out in March to remind drivers have been delayed because of a state system issue. The notices will not arrive now in the mail until later this month, but the state is not waiving late fees. The Kentucky Derby Festival hole-in-one golf contest starts today, so head on out to Seneca Driving Range, take a swing through Sunday, April 21st. It costs $1 per golf ball to enter, and the 10 closest shots to the hole from each day move on to the semifinal round. That'll be held April 21st. Then the finals Tuesday, April 21st. And if you get that, Tuesday, April 23rd. And if you get that hole-in-one, $1 million. But today's not a great day for golf, Tawana.
Not really, but I know there's still going to be some people out there. And by the way, maybe we should get Olivia into that contest. She has a pretty good swing. That seems like a good idea. Looking into Corydon right now, we can see the rain coming down there as we're watching plenty of these showers, even a couple of thunderstorms rolling through the region right now. Your temperatures are in the 50s and low 60s. Grab the rain gear as you're heading out because we're going to deal with these rounds of rain throughout the morning with some thunderstorms possible for later on this afternoon. Some of those could be on the stronger side for those of you further to the east with our highs in the 60s. Windy for later on this evening with some of these gusts near 30 to 40 miles per hour, and we'll watch for drier, windy conditions for tomorrow, cooler as well, and a beautiful weekend is coming our way.
Hey, taking a look at traffic this morning, mostly clear except for that major backup after that crash on 65 North just past Arthur Street. So taking a look at it now, it looks like that crash has been cleared out. Traffic at least able to move through the area, but keep in mind it's moving very slowly this morning, and you can even see it there on the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. Traffic moving around 16 miles per hour, so still dealing with that major backup. Everything else seems to be just fine, though.
All right, Olivia, let's see it. Let's do this.
Oh, well, I don't have a golf club with me, but
that's a pretty good swing.
I'll teach you one day.
Y'all need to teach me. I'm terrible.
I love golf, but I'll never have time to play.
It was tough going softball to golf, but found a way.
Hey, you're doing it. The Today Show's up next. Have a great day.
Get live streaming news, 24-hour weather, investigations, podcasts, and more. All for free with Wave Now. Watch on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, and the Wave News